Preparing a player for a tournament. Firstly, I'd really like to say that I enjoyed working through this process with one of my players. It was a good exercise for both of us, as we were both new to this area. Myself from a coaching point of view, and the player from a playing point of view. The biggest thing I learned was that a plan has to be adaptable, and that this process needs to have almost some contingencies that allow for different situations rather than being based on how you want or expect the tournament performance to go. The player completed the plan well, and by all accounts was in a good position to perform well. He had set good goals for him that were achievable. He had been put under pressure through good TGFU games and drills. He had practiced the shots required to play at tournament course. He had been to the tournament course for a preparation. He was engaged and worked through the plan nicely, and by all accounts was excited by the process. Even though the process seemed to go to plan, the player had all the tools to play his best, but did not achieve his outcome goal. The unfortunate late change to the weather conditions for the 2 days, I believe, was the main contributor in the player not achieving his outcome goal. Both the player and myself in this situation could have helped to prepare the player better for these conditions. Even though the weather change was very late in the 3-week process, there probably could have been a small amount of practice focused solely on wind control shots and very strong wind, and maybe the use of wet weather gear while he was playing these shots to really emulate the poor conditions that might happen, even though they weren't scheduled at the time. A 3-week plan could have set aside a couple of days for random condition preparation and random situation preparation, and this could have got the player ahead in this area rather than being on the back foot before he started. Unfortunately, the plan was missing this piece of the puzzle. The player's process goals, however, I believe he did very well, and that was due to the 3-week plan. The plan allowed for lots of routine practice under different short game situations and the general ball flight that was required to play the tournament course. This meant the player had a sound routine and had good awareness of the shots that he could play well. And again, though this could have been taken a little further by adding some weather conditions, some elements, maybe some creative situations that might not have been needed at the event, but would prepare the player for anything. If I were to do something differently here, I would assist the player, spend a couple of sessions with him, and work harder to create some situations that are maybe a lot more extreme rather than sort of the benign versions. I think I would definitely play some holes with the player or caddy for the player in a practice setting to get a more direct feel for what the player is like under pressure, what they are thinking rather than what they say they are thinking. In this situation, I would be able to help and give feedback and some awareness for what is an acceptable shot, maybe, in certain situations, as I know the player sometimes thinks that he needs to be perfect and hit the perfect shot all the time. Based on the work, time, and effort put into this 3-week preparation program for the player, I would charge a fee of around about $30 per week, so $90, and then that would be on top of any coaching during the 3 weeks, which is charged out at $50 for a half an hour session. That would mean that the 3-week cost, if I were to do just one session in the middle there somewhere, would be at a minimum of $140 for the 3-week program. The player in this time can also ask any questions about the program, and I'll assist in any changes that we need to make that we're aware of. I think the player would take this opportunity, especially if it was an important tournament, they were working towards, such as club championships or the major event at the club. As tournament preparation, or good tournament preparation, is a huge part of good performance and can be the difference between being the club champion or not. This also might be a case-by-case thing, as some players may need some more sessions or some more support to keep them on the right road than others, and some may be happy using the question and answers approach without having a proper session during the program. In this situation, the price structure could change, as even if it is a question and answers based approach from the player with the coach, the player is getting a lot of free advice in this situation if it's 5 minutes here or there. So that would need to be accounted for in the 3-week program and the costings of that. I think the player in question would be very happy to pay that sort of money, especially if I made an effort to go watch another event so that he was playing again. The feedback I was given was positive from the player, and he was very interested and engaged, and he really liked the fact that it was a slightly more intense based process for him to get a little bit more focused before he was playing a tournament, rather than his usual week-to-week rounds of golf on the weekend. Big thing he said it gave him was extra confidence to know that he was going about it the right way, and he was going to play good golf no matter how he prepared, because he knew he was preparing pretty well.